Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to apply static simulation. In this tutorial, we will be applying static simulation on a gear assembly. So open the supplied file, gear reduction housing assembly. Now first, let's go to the simulation workspace. Now as you move on to this simulation workspace, you will see the screen. So let us first select static stress and click on create study. Now you will see all the components of your assembly, even the ones that were hidden. So to simplify our gear assembly, let us go to this simplify workspace. Here let's move on to the model components and select the spur gear 48 teeth and the idler gear long. Right click on these and select remove all except selected. So this is our simplified gear assembly. This is the spur gear, 48 teeth, and this is the idler gear. Let's click on finish simplify. Now let us first go to study materials. So these are the materials of our gears. The spur gear and the idle gear are both of steel. Here we can see the properties of our material. As both are steel, so these will be same. If we want to change the material of our gears, we can simply override it as selecting this and changing the material according to our need. Now we will move on to the constraints. So we will be selecting structural constraints. Now let us first apply the structural constraint on the idler gear. We will be selecting it as a fixed position. We will be making the idler gear fixed in its position. So we will be selecting these two surfaces and we will be making it fixed in all these three directions and click on OK. Now again let's go to the structural constraints. Here we can see we can apply different type of constraints like fixed, pin, frictionless and prescribed. Let us select the pin and apply this constraint onto the spur gear. We want to apply this in the radial and axial direction and click on OK. Again apply structural constraints and this time we will be using the fixed constraint on the spur gear and we want it to be fixed in the Y direction so that it does not move in this Y direction and click on OK. So we have applied the structural constraints on our gear assembly. Now let's move on to the loads. Click on structural loads. Here we can see we can apply different types of loads such as force, pressure, moment, bearing load, remote force and hydrostatic pressure. For our gear assembly we will be using the movement force. Now, we will be applying the moment on this spur gear face. I will be changing the units to pound force inch. For the worst case scenario, we will be taking it as 36 pound force inch and click on OK. Now we can see that we have applied a moment of 36 pound force inch on this spur gear. Now this is the load case that we have applied. We can also rename it as 36 This is the worst case scenario load. In the load section, we can see that the gravity is turned off. We can turn it on and off by selecting this checkbox. We will keep it as off. And here is the moment that we have applied. Now we want to apply another load that is of 12 pound force inch. That will be depicting our ideal conditions. So we will right click on this 36 pound force inch load and clicking on clone load case. This is the cloned load case and we will be renaming it as 12 pound force inch. In the load section, we can change the moment from 36 to 12 and click on OK. Now we have applied two loads to our gear assembly. Now we will be applying automatic contacts. Select the default value and click on generate. So this will generate automatic contacts between the idler gear and the spur gear. We can manually apply contacts by simply going to contacts and manual contacts. We can also manage the contacts that have been placed. Here we can see the different contacts that have been placed between the idle gear and the spur gear. If we want to change it, we can also change it by changing the contact type. Let's click on cancel. Now we want to create a mesh on our gear assembly. So we will simply go to mesh, right click and select mesh settings. So this slider means the size of the individual mesh components in our mesh of the design assembly. So the more is the percentage of the model base size, the larger will be the size of the individual components of the mesh. So we will keep it at the largest. Also we can check this scale mesh size per part, which will scale the size of the individual mesh according to the gears. As we see, our gears are of different size, so the individual mesh sizes will be different for both of these. So let's click on OK. Right click on mesh and select generate mesh. Here we can see the mesh is generated. Now we can see that the mesh size in the areas of this idler gear, where the idle gear is in contact with the spur gear, the mesh size is quite large. But we want the mesh size to be as small as possible in these areas so that we can get accurate simulation results. So we want to apply different mesh settings for these parts of the idler gear. So we will be using mesh control. Simply go to manage and select local mesh control. In this, select the surfaces that are in contact with the spur gear. And make the mesh size to fine and click on OK. Now we can see an error sign at the mesh. So simply right click and click generate mesh. This will again generate a mesh with the local mesh controls at these selected surfaces. So now we can see that the mesh size is quite fine in these areas that we selected. Okay, so we have set up the whole simulation study. Now let us pre-check. This shows us that we do not have any errors or warnings. Then simply we can solve this simulation study. So you can either solve it on cloud or locally. If you solve it locally, it will use your system resources. And if you solve it on cloud, it will use your cloud credits. We will be solving it on cloud. So let's click on solve one study. So this shows us our status. Now we can see that our simulation study has been solved. So we can see the results by clicking here, or we can simply go to results and simulation results. So here this is set to the safety factor. So we can see that our maximum and minimum safety factor are both 15. So this is well above our minimum required, that is 4. Also we can see the stress distribution. So this is the stress distribution, where if we slide the sliders along this bar, we can see the maximum stress regions. Most of these are at the corners. This is the adjusted view, so we will be using the undeformed view. As we keep on moving the slider, we can see the sections. These fillets are the sections where the most of the stress is accumulated. So if we had quite a large amount of stress at these fillets, so we could simply increase the radius of these fillets so that the stress at these fillets could be reduced. So this is our stress simulation. We can see different types of forces and displacement and stresses along these surfaces. Click on finish results and save the file. Hope to see you in the next tutorial.